Avengers Endgame Asgards' fate is a nice nod to the comics Polygon. We use cookies and other tracking technologies to improve your browsing experience on our site, show personalized content and targeted ads, analyze site traffic, and understand where our audience is coming from. To find out more, by choosing I accept, you consent to our use of cookies and other tracking technologies. Has many nods to the lengthy history of Marvel Comics, more obvious than. And one of them is, we won't give too much away before the spoiler warning, but Asgard's endgame fate is pretty similar to one era of stories you or theories, as the experts call them you in particular. Edition note: this post will contain spoilers for Avengers Endgame. In 2017 Thor Ragnarok, Asgard was destroyed, and Thor decided to take the All-Father's words to heart. Asgard was not a place, it was a people. But also, oh, remember this place, he told Thor and Loki with his last breath, home. And in Avengers Endgame, we see the results of Odin's pining for the fjords. The Asgardian refugees and Saka-Aaron gladiators have settled in a Norwegian community called New Asgard. We don't get to see Asgardians have settled on Earth before, in Marvel Comics, and no, we're not talking about ancient Norse times. As part of 2000, however, Ragnarok is part of an endless cycle of death and rebirth, and Thor learns that Odin's banishment of him to Earth to learn humility had cost a loophole. Confronting the North awakening in 2007, and in a new comic by writer J. Michael Straczynski and artist Olivier Coipel, Thor learned that his human form, Dr. Donald Blake, who had previously been vanished away by Odin. Once Thor learned the lesson of his banishment, he had come back to life after Odin's death. Convincing Thor, after using all of his power to rebuild Asgard as a giant floating fortress outside of the small town of Broxton, Oklahoma. Thor did just that. Thor also angrily confronted Iron Man over the events of Marvel's First, which had occurred while he was sleeping. Angered that Thor agreed. After finding, at the end of Endgame, it seems like the Asgardians are on Earth to stay, as Thor once again renounced his kingship, giving it to Valkyrie to become what he's always been at heart, a wandering adventurer. And I think I speak for all of us when I say all hail King Valkyrie. Tom Spielman is the former manga/anime critic for the Eisner Award-winning Comics Alliance. He's proofread. Just a point of interest: New Asgard in Endgame is supposed to be in a place called Ensberg, which was also the village in Norway that the Red Skull attacked in the opening to Captain America: The First Avenger, where the Tesseract was originally hidden. Ensberg is also a real town in Norway, one of the oldest towns in the country if I am not mistaken. As a native Oklahoman, I am delighted to learn this piece of trivia. I was wondering if they were all killed at the beginning of Infinity War or managed to escape pod away. It was a bit sad.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.